clean game. Probably the D-backs' cleanest game of the year. It's not really a surprise to me that either Brandon Pfaadt or Merrill Kelly would be pitching in that game.
That's
right
what
now.
Torrey said.
Yes.
Clean.
Yeah.
And I agreed. It was a dominant win. I realized it was 5-1. That's all it was. But for the most part, you think about it, the Rays went out. They scored first in this game, and then you responded. They responded. The Diamondbacks, they scored 2 in the bottom of the third. And then, of course, from that point forward, they built on their lead and didn't give up any more runs. It was a dominant victory, as far as I'm concerned, in the game of baseball.
You watch them play, and Tampa always has good prospects. But, man, it just feels like their starting lineup every time I see them play, like 5 or 6 of the guys are rookies or second-year players, which I know is life as a small market team in the American League East. I heard Dan and Vince talking about this on the way in today because, there's the parallel with the Diamondbacks and Rays coming in as expansion teams at the end of the 90s, just kind of how they've gone about their business. And the Diamondbacks do now go out there and add some big names. I mean, Corbin Burns is a big name. Tampa never really goes out and adds big names, but they are really good at developing them. They're never an easy team to beat, but they're struggling a little bit this year at 9-14. But just the way Pfaadt went through that lineup, and that was just so low stress. 6 innings, 1 earned run, 4 hits, 5 strikeouts. Not like flashy, but it's not like 11 strikeouts or whatever. But he's 4-1 now, Wolf. He's had a decision in every single one of his starts so far this season. I mentioned earlier he leads the team in quality starts. He leads the rotation in ERA. He's supposed to be your number 5 starter this year, and he's pitching like I guess I would say like a 2 because he's not like a dominant ace, but he's pitching like a really good 2.
Yeah. Once again, I thought he was dominant on the mound yesterday. I thought that he was. He's not your ace, but right now he is your best pitcher. He's your best pitcher.
He's got ace numbers
5
right now.
Right now, yeah. To me, again, he's not your ace, but he is your best pitcher right now. This is something that is going to be kind of fun for us to actually weigh, measure, and evaluate all season long. Who's the best Diamondbacks pitcher right now in their rotation? This is going to be fun, Basin audience, because I expect it to change over the course of the season many times as to who the best pitcher in the rotation is at that moment. Again, we're not talking about, who's got the best numbers in
who's the most dominant or whatever.
Right. I'm talking about in a 2-3 rotation cycle where you can look at it and say, who's pitching best for the Diamondbacks right now?
Yeah, like if you had to win tonight, who would you want pitching?
Right exactly.
Now. Right now,
there are guys that are going to be in peaks and valleys all season long. We know that. That's baseball.
I guess it's a good sign, or a sign of a good team, I should say, that it's not just the pitching. We see this in the hitting, too, where like you have guys that you were expecting more from that aren't really doing it, but then you have a guy like Brandon Pfaadt picking them up. I mean, did we expect better than a 5.6 ERA from Gallen so far? Yeah. Did you expect better than a 4.64 ERA and maybe some more dominance from Corbin Burns right now? Yeah. I mean, Burns is looking better the last couple starts. It's still very early, but you can withstand that when you have Brandon Pfaadt going out there doing what he's doing. He's exceeding expectations.
That's right, Brandon. You got to fight, Brandon. And you know what? You fought.
Can't argue with that.
I love it, but you know
he
what?
Didn't really have to fight last night.
This is what we ought to do, and I'm talking about as an entire show. Rick, Jamal, this is what we ought to do, man. Every 5 starts, every 5 times,
every trip through the rotation. Okay.
Every 5 times. Who's the best pitcher right now for the Arizona Diamondbacks?
Okay, well,
we're right at 5 right now for Brandon Pfaadt.
Yep. Erod's going to make his 5th tonight, his 5th start, and then Corbin Burns will make his 5th start in the series finale. So
exactly.
we'll have we'll be 5 times through the rotation. By the way, is like that's you're starting to get significant because you're only in a perfect world going to make 32-ish starts.
Correct.
Yeah.
So that'd be kind of cool to evaluate who's the best starter right now for the Arizona Diamondbacks, knowing there's going to be peaks and valleys for every one of them.
Well, spoiler alert right now, it's Brandon Pfaadt.
It's Brandon Pfaadt
and
right now.
Merrill Kelly's second right now because all of his starts except one have been really good.
That was really bad.
It was really bad,
That
but
one was really
his
bad.
other
Like,
four
it was
starts
kind
were
of a
really good.
situation where you're like, Merrill, can I see you in the office for a minute?
I'll
Can
just
we
talk to you next time
just
around.
pop in, all right? I just want to talk to you.
Yeah. Here's Brandon Pfaadt after the game.
How'd you feel out there today?
At first, I didn't feel the best, but we were able to. I think the fastball command felt terrible at the beginning of the game, and I think that's where the sinker comes into play, and it's a huge advantage to have and start throwing that. So we threw that a lot today, and then there in the sixth, we were able to jump back on the four seam and get that thing rolling. So felt good. Once we settled in, Gabby was great back there and was able to calm us down and keep us on track. I think after the two homers, that helped settle us in pretty good, and we were able to go from there.
Felt terrible to start the game.
Honestly, I love Brandon. He's vulnerable, and he doesn't care if you see the vulnerability because he knows it makes him strong. It's who he is. I love that about him. Who's going to come out and say that right after he had the outing he just had? That didn't sound like he was really, he had a great outing, and he just sounded like he's down in the mouth.
You know, the other guy we've heard sound like that after great outings is Zach Gallen. And everybody's down on Zach Gallen, but I mean, there was a stretch there where he went,
Great
a month
players
and a half?
are even better self-evaluators.
He went like a month and a half without giving up a run. What was that, 2 years ago? And, he was a lot of the same. He was like, I didn't really feel like I had it tonight. Like, Zach, you haven't given up a run in a month and a half.
I mean, just play the beginning of it again and listen to him right here. It sounds like he's almost crying.
How'd you feel out there today?
At first, I didn't feel the best, but we were able to. I think the fastball command felt terrible.
That's when you get the felt terrible. In
it's just kind of like me doing a live read where I said .com at the end of it.
Did I miss that?
Because I had something caught in my throat.
I walked out of the studio. I missed it.
I mean, honestly, it was .com.
If people don't know it's .com, I don't know that you can help at this point.
Well, still, it was bad. But Brandon Pfaadt was not.
Here's more from Pfaadt.
I think just going deep in games, obviously credit to our offense for helping that be the case. And if they keep hitting like they do, we get more wins. So I think it's a win-win for both sides. And I wouldn't be getting wins if it weren't for them.
Yeah, I mean, that's universally true, I would say, but his last three starts, he's given up 2 total runs. So as long as one guy on the Diamondbacks side of the things hits the ball over the fence or drives in 2 runs, they've been winning with the way Pfaadt has pitched. 0 runs against Baltimore in 6 innings, 1 against the Marlins in 5 2/3, and then 1 last night against the Rays in 6 innings. He's been lights out.
When you look at his line, when you look at his stat line, what is the one thing that really jumps out to you? It's the fact that he had no base on base.
I was going to say
He's
walked 5 guys all year.
Think about that, man. That is so good right there. It really is. Man, we've seen Zach Gallen, I think, walk 5 guys in a game in an outing.
Gallen's walked 13 this year. Merrill's walked 11. And then Corbin Burns and Erod have played less games than Pfaadt, but they've walked 9 and 6.
Yeah.
Pfaadt is walking 1 guy a game.
It's really incredible what's going on right now. But this is the next step for Brandon Pfaadt to be more consistent, like what we're seeing right now. That is the next step for him in his development as a starter in Major League Baseball.
And remember, when this guy was first breaking in, it depends who you talk to if he was considered to have like ace stuff, but he was one of the top pitching prospects in baseball and certainly the Diamondbacks' top pitcher prospect. So he is supposed to be this good. It's just he's helping them out a lot right now with the way he's pitching.
Thanks for watching Wolf and Luke. Tap to see more and click the button in the middle to subscribe to Arizona Sports.